Welcome to the Seth Barbman On Podcast, from startup to stock exchange.
We're here today, New York City, and I'm here with Greg and Wil, CEO and President at SinglePoint, ticker symbol SING. And I don't have one story to tell. These guys have multi-layer stories to tell, and that's what I think is interesting, because if you take the hottest topics out there, call it cannabis, call it Bitcoin, call it mobile payments, these guys wrap it all together, and then whatever else you can put into it that adds value, they're doing it. So great to have you, great to meet you here in the heart of New York City. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are up to.
Yeah, well, thanks for the introduction. I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, we've been using the phrase recently, we're the Berkshire Hathaway of hot things. So we're investing in blockchain and cannabis and mobile payments and whatever's exciting out there. And just recently, of course, the Supreme Court voted 6-3 on sports betting for the states, and we have invested in 3 companies previously, so we're really excited about that.
Okay.
We're at the end of the day, SinglePoint is a technology company. We have mobile payments, merchant processing, we build apps. So we're going to continue to invest in some sports betting companies, but we're also going to do our own.
Now, let me ask you this. Is that something that was strategic, thought out, planned, that, if all the cards fall this way, then we'll have the sports betting set up? Or is it something that it was a path you wanted to go down anyway, and the cards fell the right way?
Well, it's a really good question, because it was a little disappointing because, 2 years ago we invested in 2 fantasy sports companies,
okay.
And at the time, FanDuel and DraftKings were
Sure.
the big 500-pound gorillas.
Absolutely.
Well, our friendly guy here in New York, Eric, whatever his name is, he purposely shut all that down.
Okay.
I think he was trying to make a name for himself,
Okay.
run for president, whatever. So he single-handedly shut that down to where only DraftKings and FanDuel could survive. So all the other smaller companies had to go out of business because.
So at that time you thought, game over?
Oh, I was, looking at ourselves and going, hey, we made a bad bet. It's pretty frustrating.
No pun intended.
Exactly. And then I'm driving into work last Monday, and I thought it would take 2 or 3 years, and I hear, the Supreme Court just voted 6-3, and I'm like, oh my God,
Pull over to the side of the road and do a dance of joy.
Those bets are all of a sudden really making us look smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
That we were ahead of our time, so we were pretty happy about it. Obviously, it's a big deal. The thing that we're excited about is, a lot of people think about going to casino or to Vegas or whatever, but just the fact on your phone with an app, you could bet on. At a baseball game, whether it's going to be a strike or a ball, I mean, it's enormous what can happen here.
Now, let me ask you this. As a public company, most of the time, public companies, if they want to change strategy, if they want to pivot, it takes them months, but sometimes even years, to implement a different strategy, pivot from one industry to the next. You guys seem to move at lightning speed. How do you do that?
Well, I think part of it's being, a tight-knit, small, lean, and mean team, right? And everything we do comes back to payments. Every industry needs payments. You need to accept a credit card.
Okay.
Everything we do, we're like, hey, we're going to get into sports betting. Well, we're going to take our technology and our payments and go ahead and plug it into different applications. And that's what we're doing, for example, with Stake Hall. The most recent in the sports betting is they didn't have a payment solution.
Really?
And so we made an investment in them and then said, hey, we're going to help you out with your payments. And sure enough, we're about a week away from setting them up with a full-scale payment solution where people can use their credit and debit card to actually, wager in the bets that they place. So
that's awesome.
That's how
even our name is strategically aligned. SinglePoint. Okay, so we're the SinglePoint of payments. We're the SinglePoint of cannabis. Even the name.
That's the gateway for whatever project you're working on.
SinglePoint of whatever. And one of the other things, that we do well and we really focus on, spend time and money is we actually have in-house video and audio production.
Now, I want to take a minute. I want to focus on that because, in whatever capacity I'm working with a public company, most of the time the question comes up and it's like, well, how do we tell our story? Or how do we get people to care about what we're doing? How do we get people to follow what we're up to? You guys have seemed to made an industry just of that, of communicating with the shareholder, telling them every update, every step of the way, shareholder updates, and not just an email with like the traditional chairman's update where people delete it, but you actually engage with video, audio, visual. Tell me what your thought process is.
Well, it's interesting because we get a lot of calls from other public companies, and they're like, guys, how do you do it? And I'm like, well, there's no secret. There's no secret sauce. You can do it, but you have to commit to all
time,
these
effort,
things,
energy,
and money,
getting it out there.
And you know, we have committed to it. For example, that Monday, I mean, by 9 o'clock, we were in our office with 2 cameras talking about sports. I mean, nobody does that.
Right.
They might talk about it for a week and then decide not to do it. Well, we're on it. We're on it.
Now, do you have a background in technology? Like, are you guys tech geeks and you happen to now be, running a business, or are you guys business guys at heart and you're adapting technology?
I'm the wily business guy.
Okay.
He does have a really good grasp on tech.
Yeah, and then we've got 2 other board members that are tech geeks, as you said.
Okay.
So they're very well in the industry. One of them has run, thousands of programmers across the world.
Really?
And the other one is, by trade, was educated, schooled, worked at Boeing for many years doing technology development. So they really help us get that part while we're over here, higher level, bigger picture.
Now you have another element in the secret sauce, right? Kevin Harrington.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's an advisor, or
he's kind of an evangelist. So he's helping us get the word out. Using his network, he's made a lot of great introductions for us. He knows a lot of people.
How did you come to meet him? I'm just curious.
Well,
because everybody out there wants to meet the celebrity, the guy that could help take him to the next level. How'd you guys become tight with him?
I don't know if you've seen on Fridays we do the Money TV.
I've seen that.
Okay, so he knew Kevin, and I had met him a couple years ago. And when we started talking about getting into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and talking about, hey, let's do a commercial where people can download their coins to a wallet.
Okay.
Immediately I thought, oh my God, Kevin Harrington is the perfect spokesman, and he is.
Right.
So when he came into Phoenix, we filmed him all day, and the producer was like, I've never seen anybody so good. Every take, he was just like, next.
Really?
He's so, it's probably one of the best in the world.
And how did you land him, though? I think that's what everybody wants to know. Like, he probably gets pitched a million ideas. Like, what was that moment that he's like, wow, I really love
Well,
what you're doing?
we gave him, in our opinion, not a small amount of money for someone of his stature, but we gave him some shares.
Okay.
And I think how we landed him is he's an early adopter to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, so he knew all about it. He'd been in it, and he was like, oh yeah, I'd love to be a part of that.
We love the platform we've built and how we're enabling people to be able to trade and be able to store their coins, multi cryptocurrencies in one wallet. So we really liked that platform and wanted to be a part of it.
I guess the exciting part for you guys is sort of the unknown. Like, as exciting as everything it is with the betting and the crypto and the cannabis, like, you could have the biggest is yet to come. You just don't know.
Yeah, well, we've placed a lot of bets in some highly emerging markets, right?
Okay.
No pun intended again.
Yeah, exactly. And, if one of them takes off,
right.
It's like the tech company that all of a sudden you see that hockey stick growth is what we're looking for,
I think back to Kevin Harrington too. The guys that we hired out of Phoenix did all of the GoDaddy commercials, and they also did all of the LifeLock.
Oh wow!
Those are 2 Phoenix companies.
Okay.
So, we told them that we're going to probably do $150,000, $200,000 spend, and we're going to be on Fox and CNN. So he's like, okay, this is real, big deal. So that didn't hurt.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to see what comes next.
Yeah.
I think that as a public company, everybody's going to be tuning in to see sort of what direction the current models go in and where it's going to go in the future. Anything exciting that you can talk about coming up in the 12 months, 18 months?
What's interesting in a lot of this conversation has been, about how we, pivot into some sensational things, but in actuality, some of the stuff that we've got coming up is real blocking and tackling. We're filing our Form 10 as soon as next Friday.
Okay.
So we'll be fully reporting, which means that with our volume, as you know, we've got people courting us to fund us $5 or $10 million or more,
Right.
and we've got 3 LOIs out with 3 different companies, and if we were to close all 3 of them or 2 of them, we're talking about $10-15 million worth of revenue. So, our goal, and we're in this to go to the NASDAQ. So we'll have over the 10 million, and then we'll probably reverse our stock to get over the amount that we need to be, and that's what we're doing. We're
Yeah,
going to the NASDAQ.
sometimes people forget that when you're in the environment of a public company, you really have 2 roles.
Yeah.
One is to actually run the business,
Yeah.
and the other is to do all the mechanical processes that it takes to do the reporting and to get listed.
Yep.
I, for one, am excited, and I hope I'll be there with you to ring the bell when you guys make it to the next level. And it's great to have you here in New York. We appreciate you giving us a chance to say hello and hear what you're up to.
You definitely will be, and since we met you, it's been a great relationship, and
Awesome.
the things we're doing together, it's really worked out well, and there's a bunch of other things we're going to do together, and we're excited about it.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Looking forward.
Thank you very much.
All right.